Yeah. So we're gonna get into this crap. What's an electron? A negatively charged uh, particle, and is also a photon receptor. A proton's positively charged particle. A neutron is a uncharged particle. Was a photon a subatomic particle, quantum unit of light? What's subatomic? Smaller than an atom. And then quantum is physics based on a unit of energy. What's energy? EL, electricity, light, fire, stuff like that. Because if light is harnessed and utilized in a certain way, it can make fire, i.e., the sun's light through a magnifying glass. Photons excite atoms. Hydrogen to oxygen, that's an atom, right? To water, a couple atoms. Now, well, okay, where I'm trying to go with this is it's a LEL, elemental existence. I don't know why this camera is going crazy, it seems. You're speaking magic when you speak language. You're supposed to use your brain to speak. And you can, but you often can't hear your inner thoughts because of all this shit that you got going on around you. You got all this crap that goes on around you. You can hear yourself out there and in here. But what happens, when you're caught up in this shit, this is what happens. Your thoughts become impeded by stuff. And you get sucked up here. You get caught up in this. Okay? That's where your soul and all your life energy goes to. Staring at this. Destroy the flat screen in games. Psycho comes out. Sit there all day. This is what happens to your back and bones. And take all this bullshit. This is what happens to you on the inside out. There's no way to fuck that up. You can't mistake it. And in the end, this is what it boils down to. You see that? This is where I'm going with this. Elemental degradation. You have to build your elements back up. You have to get the correct elemental balance within yourself. You have to get the physical activity too. The LEL is what helps transport the stuff to your body, not just your cells. Your cells obviously are there to transport your oxygen and other nutrients and protein and testosterone and estrogen and blah 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 blah, teach their own gender, Yes, your cells carry and have their functions because of the nucleus. But what do you think the nucleus is? The brain. That's the LEL of the cell, the electronic impulse that has the protocol. There are things that need to be done. The first and foremost. What do white blood cells do? They attack diseases and make antivirus like duplicates after they kill the disease inside of you. That is their protocol. Your protocols should be to intake light. How do you do that? You intake it from the plants that you eat because they intake light 24/7 at some point. Some places in the world they get light like that. So that's the light food for a light body. That phrase meaning if you eat a bunch of bullshit, what do you think you're doing to yourself? So you put the light in you, and then you go get some DI from the sun, stick your fingers in the soil, ooh. You do that barefooted, dry soil, grassy. No, not real grass. You don't have to do it on grass. You want to do it on soil, sand. The beach is actually a great place to get tapped in. You want to know why? Because you got the sand. What is sand? They use that to make glass. What is glass? Can be a mirror or a reflector or a window. What is water? A mirror or a window, and is also conscious. What is the sun? It is a LEL, and it is a life-bringing source of light. Water is a life source, and the sun is conscious as well. You bring those three elements together, which I would say earth, fire, and water, and there you have a combination, and then plus the wind on the beach. You have to get all the elements. It's a cycle. Water douses fire. Wind moves water, and I would want to say that would douse it because wind can move water, but water can make wind too. So that's a two-way street. You see, that's why water's almost digital. Why do you think they fluorocarbon, hydrocarbon, huh? It's a two-way street. See, because water can be moved by wind, but if water is flowing, it will make wind or electricity. See, it's a two-way street. It's so funny. That's why water is so important. But the elements from the beach, in conjunction with each other, you can get some divine downloads. Being barefoot, sticking your feet in the sand and soil, and say Anu, get some stuff with, get some of that DI when the sun's coming up. You want to do that when the sun's coming up or when it is setting. You don't want to do it at midday. I'm telling you that, or when it's like past like 8 o'clock a.m. You do not want to stare at anything like that. No sunlight directly staring. That's foolish. You will be blind soon if you do that. So you do it, and you start out little by little each time that you do it. You know, like a couple seconds the first day, like 2 to 3 seconds, and then the next day, 4 to 6 seconds. Stuff like that. Do you also want to get the water in you that is distilled? I mean, you're going to have to drink some regular water. I mean, if it's not distilled, then you can guarantee it has impurities in it, so you're going to have to get that. But that creates the balance within you. There's a yin and yang. There's a balance. It's like one side of a light hole is a black hole type shit. Yeah. That's how you do it. Light food for a light body. Distill yourself. You get good citrus in you. That's an acid. What do you think acid does? It eats away at stuff and it gets stuff out of you. Oftentimes people, when they eat liver, which is not really good for you, I mean it's kind of good for you, but it's not. That's what I heard. I heard 2 things about it. They often squeeze lemon or lime over top of it to purify it, to get the impurities out of it, because the liver isn't really the cleanest organ. You know what I mean? It does process and clean out certain stuff, you feel me? And filter out like alcohol and just different stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying animals get drunk, but imagine what they have to filter out, because who knows what animals eat. But I would want to say animals should be eating what they're supposed to be eating, intended by nature, but oftentimes animals that are kept by man are not fed the proper diet. That's another thing too about meat. If you eat gamey meat, that's what I don't understand about people. Oh, gamey meat's nasty, blah blah blah. I think to myself, like, how? That's like some of the freshest meat you can eat. You want to know why? Because it ate as nature intended it. You know what I'm saying? It ate light food its entire time before you popped it and killed it and ate it. If you eat deer, that's really good for you. Eat caribou and antelope, all that meat, and crocodile, crazy stuff like that. Stuff that eats like, I'm not going to say crocodile because they eat other animals, but I would want to say that that's good too, because I mean they're eating the animal fresh. It's not like they're eating an animal that's a week old slaughtered. You know what I mean? That's kind of bad if you think about it. But like I said, you are what you eat. You got to intake these certain things and elements and stuff in your body, and it will make you or break you as is. So on that note, I'm going to wrap this tape up and I'm going to upload this to YouTube along with the others. Light food for a light body. Water is everything. Make sure it's pure. And you're going to get impurities, but that's why you got to distill yourself sometimes. You gotta probably try to work on getting here. 'Cause we gotta bring it back, man. This is where we're at. This is what it used to be. Okay? We gotta bust this thing down. Because it's not what it used to be. Catch you on a flip.